Hi guys, Debbie LaChusa here, and I wanted to shoot a short video, hopefully it won't be too long, for any of those people who are coming here and really expecting to find the Business Stylist or TBS Marketing Academy and wondering why it says live inspired and am I in the right place? You're in the right place. I've recently undergone let's call it a rebranding, if you will. It's really more of a change in path for me in my business and in my life. But don't worry, all of my marketing and branding videos are still here. There's still over 100 of them, and they are timeless. So it's great advice, and it's here for you. But I believe that I have something more to share, and I've felt that calling for actually many years now, and have been struggling with it internally. Been still running my marketing business up until this year, although I have been heading down the path of only offering online courses. I stopped consulting last year. And, I'm just following where I'm being led. I've really felt like I have a greater calling, like I have more to teach people and more to share and a bigger message than just teaching people how to market. I've been in marketing for 32 years. That's a long time to do anything. And yes, I've done a variety of different things and I've built several successful businesses, but I just knew it was time to move on. And some people might think, why would you move on from a business when it's making money and doing well and people still want to hire you? Well, when you're not passionate about it anymore and you're really feeling called to do something else, that's when you move on. Especially if you're like me and you have a creative heart and an entrepreneurial spirit. I like creating new things. And so I create things and I ride them as long as I really feel inspired to do them. And then when that inspiration starts to fade, I know it's time to move on to something else. Thankfully for me, I started creating online courses back in 2013, I think it was, so 4 years ago. So I have a lot of, pretty much in fact, all of my expertise that I've always shared in my private consulting and coaching practice is all packaged now in my online courses, which are available on Udemy and will probably stay there. I don't have any intention of removing those because I know that that's part of my legacy. And I know that those courses can still help a lot of people. So even though I'm kind of ready to move on to something else, I know there's a lot of people who still need that help. So those courses are still there, and there's lots of free videos here on my YouTube channel with lots of tips on how to market and brand and develop your coaching or consulting business. So that's still there, but I'm moving on. And honestly, the challenge for me was that I knew it was time to move on, but I wasn't sure what to move on to. I wasn't really clear. And what happened for me, and as I look back over all of my career and business transitions over the last 30 years, I've realized that until I really let go of something and move on, the next door doesn't open. The path isn't clear because I'm sort of straddling the fence. And I wrote about that in my book, The Career at Home Mom, years ago, that I was a straddler, that I kind of continued doing one thing while moving on to something else because there's less risk. And at this point in my life, I'm realizing that I need to leap a little bit more because until I actually shut one door, I can't open a new one. So that's what I've done this year in kind of moving on from the Business Stylist. And again, that brand will live on online. Thank goodness for online courses and online content because it's all there and it's not going anywhere. But now, me personally, I can move on into creating my next venture. And so as soon as I closed all of that down, it was amazing how quickly I got clear. And I would say I've been muddled for a couple of years now, kind of trying to think about what I wanted to do. And as always happens, within about a month, I don't even think it was that long, it was probably a couple of weeks, I got some clarity. I don't know what the end game looks like, but I do know that a big part of my purpose is helping people learn to live more inspired. And what do I mean by that? Well, living inspired means trusting your gut more, following the inspired ideas, those ideas that come to you and you're not sure where they came from, but it's exciting or it's intriguing or it's something you feel like you should try or do. And a lot of times they may not make sense. So, that rational part of us says, I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Like closing my business when it's still making money, that doesn't make any sense. But my heart told me it did make sense, that there was something more for me to do. And so I followed it. That's an inspired idea. They can be little things. They might show up in the form of synchronicities, or people show up, Or you hear a song and a lyric suddenly has meaning for you that you've never heard it that way before. And so they show up in a lot of different ways. I refer to them as the little breadcrumbs that the universe leaves for you. And they really do lead you on a path, I call it an inspired path, that when you choose to follow it, it is so much easier because it's like you've got a helping hand guiding you. And the thing with following an inspired path is usually only one step shows up at a time. So a lot of times we don't know exactly where we're going. We have an idea, we may have set an intention, but we're really operating on trust. And it's one of the big reasons that my mantra over the last probably 5 years has been let go and trust. Because as a former type A perfectionist control freak, I'll say it, I was, it's been a very challenging thing for me to learn how to embrace. But I have embraced it, and I can tell you it's changed my life. I've met so many interesting people and done so many interesting things because I'm learning to pay attention to those inspired ideas and just follow them. I started doing volunteer pet therapy 3 years ago. That has changed my life. I now have 2 certified therapy dogs. You'll see them around this channel probably because they're a big part of inspiring me to live my life a little bit differently. I go out into the community and I meet people, and after having a virtual business for as long as I can remember, to be out in the real world and talking with real people and serving them in person is a complete change, but it's also been very fulfilling. It's also given me a great big dose of perspective. And so that's just one example of something that's changed my life, and it all happened because, frankly, my dog died and I got a new dog, and a trainer suggested pet therapy work, and I'd never even heard of it. And I said, okay, I'll look into it. And one step after the other, and now I have 2 therapy dogs. So it's changed my life. I was chasing success. I was chasing bigger and bigger business, more clients, more money, chasing financial freedom for so many years. And it just always seemed to elude me. Yes, I created a lot of success and I made a lot of money, but it just was never satisfied. It just always felt like there was something more to do, or, there had to be a higher level. And I burned myself out, I got frustrated, and really forced myself to find another way. And I'm really hoping that I can catch other people before they get to that stage so they're not forced into finding a new way to live, but instead can be gently introduced to learning how to trust their gut and follow inspiration instead of always believing that they should be doing something because society says so, because their parents say so, because their teachers say so, or just because in their heart they think that's what they're supposed to be doing, but it really doesn't make them happy. I think it's a generational thing a little bit. There's a lot of people that are just out there doing what they think they're supposed to do. And the reality is, this is it, guys. This is our one life. And we choose how we want to live it. I believe we have to take risks. We have to go after what we want. We have to do things that serve us and our family and serve the world. But it's not necessarily always about making $1 million. If you make $1 million doing that, then guess what? You're probably following your calling, because the universe is rewarding you for stepping out there and doing what you're supposed to be doing, not just trying to pad your own bank account or buy more toys. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. I will be posting more videos in the future. I will be creating a playlist called Live Inspired, where I will be putting those videos, this one included. And my goal is just to share those little inspiring ahas that show up in my life pretty much every day, those inspired ideas, what I do with them, what happens, and to get you to kind of step back and think and take a look at how you can maybe apply it in your own life and then see what happens. So if this resonates with you at all, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to start posting more frequently and sharing these little inspiring ahas, and I hope they inspire you. Thanks so much. Take care.